Hi everybody, good evening here in the UK. Hope you're well. I wanted to come on live and talk to you about 3D and 5D timelines. If you follow me normally, then you'll know that, or usually I should say, then you'll know that I help people to align to why they're truly here. And that sometimes comes in the form of finding me because they've been given a diagnosis, or people have lost their way, or people have stuck in a job or stuck in a relationship or something like that. And my background is traditional, so I'm known as a spiritual scientist because my background is science and evidence-based, and very much the psychological trauma side of things. And I am a channel for spirit. And I really I kind of was guided to come on and talk to you all and take some questions if you're here live around the 3D and 5D. So I have some brand new cards, and I'm not going to do a card for everyone or anything, but I just wanted to, I've got these new cards. I actually bought a pack of these cards for my very good friend Liam. And I didn't buy myself any, and he has sent me some pictures of the cards that he'd pulled for me, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just have to get those cards. So they arrived today and they're really beautiful. So I'm just going to ask the guides. They're called Divine Abundance. So I'm just going to ask the guides to give me something that can help us kind of see what this is all about, and then I'm going to discuss with the guides' help what 3D and 5D timelines are and why it's important for us to understand that right now. Okay, I'm also going to talk a little bit about the planetary alignment, which is very exciting, on the 3rd of June. So if you're watching this after the 3rd of June, it's already happened, but it's actually the 29th of May right now. There's so much going on in the astrology actually. But I'm just going to do a little bit here. So, okay. Let's see what card we get. Oh, amazing. So we get self-love. Okay, which is a great card. And I'm going to read to you what it says. Let the wall fall that separates me from my own vulnerable inner child. I long to take care of myself like never before. Actually, this is quite poignant, and I'll tell you why. Because let's go to grassroots here. Let's think about what 3D timelines are, and I'll give you some examples, and then I'll give you some examples of 5D timelines, okay, so that you can actually sort of see where you sit, but not with any judgment, no judgment, just where do you sit in the timelines. And do you feel that you are partly in the 3D and going into the 5D, or do you feel you're all in the 3D, or do you feel that you're in the 5D completely? Okay. So let's just see if anyone is live, just so that I can talk to you. Let's just make sure the sound's turned down because I want to. Let me just see if anyone is live. Just see if anyone's come on live. Oh, there's a few of you watching, so just say hi if you're here with me live, and feel free to ask me any questions about this, because if I can answer them I will, and if I can't I'll tell you I can't. So there's a lot going on at the moment in the world, and I think that one of the things that we have to be really mindful of is not to get into the stream of consciousness of fear and drama. There is a lot going on, and if we were to watch the news, which I'm hoping if you found this channel you're not somebody who watches the news, okay, but if you do happen to watch the news, you'll see that there is a huge amount of drama and stuff going on in the world. There's also a huge amount of people unwell at the moment, right? and they appear to be unwell. What the body is actually doing is clearing out loads of toxicity, and this is what the body always does, and it's always doing the best it can for us. But there are a lot of people that are suffering, and so if we get too much into the consciousness stream of illness, war, drama, etc., etc., what we're doing is we are staying in the 3D timelines. Okay, does that make sense? So yes, we can acknowledge this, but acknowledging it is one thing. Actually feeling fear and guilt and shame and having a drama about it is actually living that timeline. Something that the guides are saying to me is that when we are in a place of, they're reminding me, a place of fear, actually what we're doing is we are putting energy to that person, if we're afraid for them, or to that situation that is actually stopping that person or that situation from actually absorbing the light. So we think that, I'll just turn my sound up a bit. We think that we're actually helping by worrying about someone, or we might see it as caring. But actually what we're doing is we are focusing negative energy to fuel that situation. I hope that makes sense. And that doesn't mean that we just kind of ignore everything. It just means we acknowledge it with compassion, but that we don't get embroiled into it. And so there might be something in your personal life right now, and maybe there is, because Chiron is very, in our charts, in our astrological chart, is very prominent right now. And it is really showing us the wounded part of us. And the reason why it's showing us this is because we've got this opportunity, in the card that came up with self-love, we've got this opportunity to turn this around. And I do feel that the planetary alignment, I think it's 5 planets that line up completely, 5 or 6, that line up completely on the 3rd of June. I mean, what is the chance of that? I just can't wait. Hopefully I'll be able to see it. But essentially, you know, what is that telling us? It's an incredible opportunity, isn't it, for us to really stand in our self-love and stand in our possibilities of who we truly are. So 3D timelines not only don't serve us, but they definitely do not serve the other. So if you've got a situation at the moment where you're feeling afraid for someone, or someone's unwell and you're afraid you're going to lose them or something like that, try to shift that and turn that around as, I'm holding this person in the best space possible so that they can heal, or that situation can heal. And so one of the things you can do with that is you can place your hands on your heart. We are going to do a process, by the way. I always do this on my lives. But you could place your hands on your heart, and you could just fill your heart with love and gratitude and compassion, and send that ball of light out to that person, that animal, that place, that situation. Okay? And so that's one thing that you can do that is a better use of your energy than actually dropping into the fear and dropping into the pain of the worry. Okay? And it doesn't take it away from you being human, obviously your soul having a human experience, but it doesn't take away from your humanness and your compassion by not worrying about someone. In fact, it actually does the opposite. So if you imagine the difference between 3D timelines and 5D timelines, 5D, fifth dimensional timelines, are where we are walking the path of our mission. Okay, so we're walking the path of our mission. So essentially what I say to my children, as well as the people I work with in my membership as well, is that what lights you up? So whatever lights you up is actually you walking towards that fifth dimensional timeline. Because whatever lights you up is the part of you that is stepping into the truth of who you are. Okay, so just going to say that again. Whatever lights you up is that part of you that's stepping into the timeline of your mission and why you are here. Okay, so if you think about these timelines, if you're living your mission and if you're living your heart's desire, which timeline do you think you're on? 5th or 3rd? You're definitely not on the 3rd. You're definitely not, I'm getting hot now, the guides are coming in. You're definitely not in 3 dimension. You're in 5th dimension or even higher. And so what you're doing is you are stepping forward, and we might like to see it as the new earth and the old earth. So if we're stepping into the new earth, we might see that as a golden, beautiful, loving earth, okay? And the 3D earth, the old earth, might be seen as more dense, okay? So if you think about a timeline of stepping onto your mission, then what would be absent in your life? You might not be afraid. You might be in trust. You might, the 3 pillars of abundance really help people actually. You might know who you are, so know thyself. Know that you're not on your own, so that's the 2nd pillar of abundance. And know why you're here is the 3rd pillar of abundance. And notice I call them the 3 pillars of abundance. And the reason for that is because as you are embodying those 3 aspects of yourself, actually that's when the doors open. So the doors open for possibility, opportunity, expansion, and loving yourself more and more and more. Because when you know that you're not on your own, meaning that you have your guides, you know, your helpers are with you, and also you know that you're pointing yourself at least in the direction of living why you're here, and you know who you are, of course, you know you are a soul having a human experience. As you start to step on, even at the start of that, you'll notice that people will come into your life. Maybe this is the first time you've seen a video from me. People will come into your life, opportunities will come in, doors will open, and if a door closes a few times, you know that it's probably not the right door to go through, right? That's in a relationship or in a work situation or a house that you might be buying or anything, pets, anything, friendships. So if something is hard, it's probably not, you know, it's probably not for you. If it works out with ease and grace, then it's probably for you. So thinking about that and thinking about how, you know, you can see the difference now, can't you? So you can see that tangibly, if we're on this timeline of the 5th dimension, we have in our world, in our perhaps external world, we would see it as, although of course it is our internal world that is creating and manifesting the external world. But if we look in our external world, is it the external world we want? So are we walking our path? Are we remembering who we are? Are we remembering that we are our own inner healers? And of course we need facilitators, but when we remember that we can heal ourselves, that we are empowered to heal ourselves, then that's another step on that direction of remembering who you are. Okay, so there are those aspects of it. So you can look at your life and just feel, where do I feel I am? So just take a couple of seconds while I read some comments and just see who's here. Hi Pammy. Hi Kim. Hi TL. Hi Diane. Haven't seen you for ages. Lovely to see you. So Kim asks, with everything, for example, financials and fear, like to make sure I'm in my highest timeline, how can I maintain this? Yeah, so this is what I was just coming to. So that's a perfect question. So the inner work is our key. So when we see something, i.e. bank account, this is what you're talking about, when we see something in our external world that is not something that we want to see, let's talk about a bank account here, you know, maybe we're in overdraft or we have debt or whatever, then our key is changing the inner. Okay, so there will be somewhere there a belief that you're not worthy to receive. Okay, so there'll be a belief that I'm not worthy to receive. There also may be held in your heart field some emotions around anger and resentment. And that doesn't mean you're an angry, resentful person. It just means that there may be something in the heart field that is sending that message out. Okay, so actually on Monday, just this Monday just gone, I ran a retreat specifically around money, and it will be up for replay on the newsletter when the newsletter goes out at the end of the week. So if you want to purchase that, that might be really good. It's an hour and a half of working with our multidimensional self, and actually it was pretty profound, and the guides came in and channeled and did activations, and we cleared loads of stuff in the Akashic Records. So that might be really good for you. And so if you're not on my newsletter, you can just pop to my website afterwards, susankennard.co.uk, and the first page you can click on a discovery session with me if you would like, a free discovery session, but also you can click on a free video course. That free video course links you up to my newsletter as well. Okay, so just put your email in and you'll get my newsletter, and in which case then you'll get the opportunity, if you want to purchase the money retreat, which you might find fun. So essentially when we're looking at that, we're looking at our inner frequency. So as money is a great one, because money is really something that stops us in our track. So if we can't put the lights on and we can't put the heating on and we can't put food in the cupboard, it shows us that there is a fear of survival. Okay, and definitely that always comes from very, very early experiences. And yes, definitely past lives and epigenetics, but when we think of it, actually it gets triggered in our childhood. So it's really, really important to do the inner work and the childhood work. We're going to do a process, actually. I'll do a process with you, but I will just show you, just in case you don't know, Kim, just in case you don't know, this is my book, Awaken the Light Within Your Heart. So in the third bit of this book, this is on audio as well. So if you wanted to hear me take you through the processes, then you can get it on Audible. It's my voice. So in the back of the book is all of the processes and the tools. Okay, so we're going to do one today. Probably not a long process, but we're going to touch on it today. So if you want to get my book, Awaken the Light Within Your Heart, you can get it on Amazon. So where was I? Yeah, so basically when we're looking at our frequency, we can tell where our frequency is in our heart field. If you imagine that we have something called a heart coherence, and if our heart is incoherent and coherence, then we know that the message we're putting out to the world is a message of clarity. When our heart is not in coherence, meaning it holds heart walls, perceptions of belief, frequencies of toxicity through emotion that's held in our heart, then we're sending like a mixed message out to the universe. Okay, and so what happens then is we might want something, but actually it's not in our frequency and it's not going to come to us that way. All right, so the inner work is really, really important. And what I've found with many people with money situations is it's before language. So it could be when you were growing in the womb. There's actually a really good process in there called soul rebirthing. That might be something that would be really good for everyone to do. And it takes you back to that point, that spark of light when you're growing in the womb, and then you get reborn in that sense. Not in a Christian sense, but in a spiritual sense, you get reborn. So it's almost like a blank slate, you know, like you're starting again in a way. So I find that with people that if there's something about money and they keep trying, and they can't access it, it's usually something that's way before language. because if we have the language, we can make sense of something. But if it's before language, there's just no way we can make sense of it. So I hope, Kim, I hope that answered your question. If anyone else has got a question, please leave it there and I'll answer it if I can. So yeah, so if we're thinking about that and we're thinking about where we are on that 3D timeline, then we might be somebody who is worrying about things, or we might have situations in our life where we are not standing in our power. So we might give our power away to authorities. We might give our power away to things, thank you, things that have happened in the past. So we might give our power away to something that happened when we were younger, something that happened with our ex, or something that happened with a friendship, and we're living in the past energy. And some of you know that recently I went with my friend Roshni to Joe Dispenza in Switzerland. So we spent a whole weekend with Joe Dispenza, immersed in his work, which was right up my street because it's spiritual science, so I loved it, the science of healing. But essentially, one of the really great things about that was that what he was saying was that you cannot create, meaning you can't manifest from the past, and you can't create from the future. You can only create from this now moment, right? So you can create from this now moment, and that allows you to actually expand into the part of you that is much bigger than the human. And that part of you is your higher self. Okay. So you're, the all-knowing, the all wisdom holds all the wisdom within you. And that part of you is where you create. Okay. So you may have been, thinking to yourself, and there's no judgment with any of this that I say, right? This is the work I do. So I get it. So and I've done it. Let me tell you, I'm constantly doing work on myself. But essentially, if you think about, oh, that person did that to me, that person wronged me, my ex did this or whatever, we're constantly in that old story. And the old story is the old energy. Okay. So the old energy is keeping you stuck in the past frequency. And that past frequency is the 3D timelines. Okay. That's an opportunity to kind of awaken to that, right? And my book's called Awaken the Light Within Your Heart. So it kind of makes sense. But awaken that light within your heart and just go, you know what? Actually, that's a story. And that's where we come into forgiveness. Okay. So forgiveness of ourselves. Because as we are forgiving ourselves, then we are forgiving others, because we are one, right? There's no separation between you and me. So then if we're thinking about the future, so we can't create from the future. So the future is when I have this, or when I've got money, or when I have that relationship, or when I move house. We are in the future, we're not in the present. So we can't create from the future either. Okay, makes sense? So we have to come into that center, which we're going to do shortly, but we have to come into that center. And the more that we sit with ourselves, and we sit with ourselves every day, the more we sit with ourselves, the more we are coming into our center, the more we are creating by default within that place of the present moment. Okay, so just think about that for a moment. I'm just going to see any more. So Pat, hi Pat. Wow. Yeah. So Pat's very much talking about, things happening like car breaking down, a week of turmoil, hip injury, etc., etc. And she's put herself in 2 healing chambers. That's great. Oh, and if anyone wants to go into a galactic crystal healing chamber, you can pop over to my website, susankennard.co.uk. There's a whole page of them. So, okay, yeah. So where do we start with this inner work? Well, as I said, we start with forgiveness. That's a really, really good place to start. But also the awareness and the changing of our mind in the understanding that the more that we are in our present moment, the more we are in a place of potential and opportunity. Okay? We cannot create from the past, the dramas. We cannot create from the future. And I think Kim said she's worried about our financial situation in the world globally. And as I said right at the top of this session, so if you come in a bit later, you might want to watch the start. If we put our energy into a situation of something that makes us feel scared, we are fueling that situation. Okay, and that's a 3D timeline. So a 5D timeline experience with, where if you were to look at the financial situations here, then a 5D might be, I come into my center, I come into the remembering of who I am, okay? And from that place of higher consciousness, I send light to that situation, knowing that as I stay in my consciousness and I stay in my remembering, my 3 pillars of abundance, know thyself, know that I'm not on my own, and know why I'm here. As I stay in that, I know that my energy is so much stronger and helpful. Okay? So if there's a situation that's going on in your personal life or in the outside world that you feel is a global situation, then it is really important to do that. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of that now because I think that will really help everybody. Okay, so just before I do that, just to let you know that on every Friday there is a 5-minute frequency tune-up, and this is where I get to bring the guides in and we do an activation or channeling or something with the guides. So definitely, if you're not a subscriber of the channel, please make sure that you are, so that you get these and they pop up and they tell you when I go live and they tell you when I have a new video. Okay? And if you want to work with me privately, there are a few options to work with me privately, and you'll find them on my website. Okay? All right. So let's do a little bit of healing and coming into our higher self. Okay? All right, so let's just close our eyes and put our hands. I've already prepared a sacred space. Good. So let's take a deep breath. So what I want you to do is to take a deep breath, hold it. So breathe in through your nose and hold for as long as you can. And we're going to do that 3 times, okay? So I'll keep my eyes open for the purpose of the video. So we're going to breathe in and hold 3 times in your own time, but hold it as long as you possibly can, and I'll come back. So on the next in-breath, hold your breath, and then I want you to imagine that you can see a beautiful ball of light in your heart. Hold it for as long as you can, and release when you need to. Good. So now I want you to do the same. Breathe in through your nose, and this time hold it with a light at your 3rd eye, which is just on the bridge of your nose. Good. Excellent. And now you can return your breath to normal, so however you would like to breathe. And then I want you to imagine a beautiful star under your feet. And this is your Earth star. I just feel the energy of being grounded and supported. And then imagine the star above your head. This is your soul star. Connects you to the unified field of consciousness, all that is, everything. So just imagine a beautiful veil of light. I kind of get it like iridescent light, all the way down over your body. Good. All right. So with your hands still on your heart, I want you to think about a situation that is keeping you in the 3D timeline, okay? So we're not going to talk about it and we're not going to go into it too deeply. Just get that consciousness in your mind. So think of something that you know is fear-based or worry or anxiety or something you've justified and said, but I need to worry about it, or I need to care about that person or that situation. Just have it in your mind, okay? And those of you that are visual, imagine that situation in your mind, right? And then I want you to say these words. And I want you to imagine that you're talking to a little part of you, a little child, okay? So I want you to say, I'm so sorry that you're feeling so afraid. I'm so sorry that this world feels so confusing to you. I'm so sorry that you feel you don't know the answer. I'm so sorry that you feel everything needs to be done a certain way. I'm so sorry you feel you just have to keep the peace. I'm so sorry you feel the world on your shoulders. I'm so honoured that you're here today so that we can heal together. I'm sorry you forgot that you have all the wisdom within you. I'm so sorry that you forgot. You are divinity itself. I'm so sorry you forgot the incredible power that you have within you to live an abundant, free life. So I want you to say to that little part of you, I'm going to love and protect you and care for you and place you in my heart, where we're going to have so much fun living in our 5D timelines, creating, expanding, and walking the path of our mission. Imagine that little child in your heart is feeling really safe and loved and looked after. Take a deep breath and then imagine that situation, that scenario, How does it feel to you now? Check in with it. There may be some other layers that you need to let go of. There may be more forgiveness. But it may have changed. And when you feel ready, you can come back. So that was a very, very short exercise for you. Just to know that you can actually feel better by honouring and forgiving yourself. So these little parts of us that we were accessing just then were parts of you that are playing out right now in your external world. So whatever you're seeing, whatever you're worried about, whatever is keeping you awake at night, or whatever person you're worried about, know that that is never about today. It may feel and seem that it is about today, but it's always the sum of the parts from the past, and a part of us that felt disconnected. We felt we were on our own. We felt we didn't know how to do it. And so we put up a heart wall to keep ourselves safe. But when we no longer have that heart wall, all we can imagine is possibility. And that's where you can create from. That place of inner guidance, alignment to your higher self, and a feeling of gratitude. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know, goodness, so many comments. Let me know how you're feeling. And definitely, if you're interested in doing more deep work, the money retreat definitely will be up this week. So I can't wait to share that with you. And there are many replays for the retreats as well. We run retreats every single month on the membership. If you are a member, obviously you get that as part of your membership, as well as other things as well. If you're interested in being in the Soul's Ascension membership, if you're ready to step onto that path, your ascension pathway, then pop over to my website. I think it's still called the Soul's Mission membership, but it has literally changed its energy the last couple of days. So much love. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to find me on Friday with my 5-minute frequency tune-ups. Please definitely like and subscribe, because it really helps me. It helps me find more time by a channel that's supported. I can be here more for you. I can help you heal. I can give you advice of whatever I'm being given to share with you. And I have about 30 years experience working as a trauma specialist. So trauma is something that has been my life's work. So there's nothing that I haven't seen. There's probably nothing that I haven't worked with. And so whatever it is, reach out. And if you do want to have a little chat with me, I'll put in the show notes here at the bottom of the YouTube channel where you can book a discovery session, but you can actually find that on the front page of my website as well. And it's just so that we can have a chat and I can help you understand your situation, and then I can point you in a direction. So whatever direction you feel you're guided to go in. Okay, so much love for now. And if you feel like buy me a coffee, buy a super chat, I love it when people do that. It really warms my heart and it really helps me grow my channel. So thank you so much. Much love for now. Bye for now.